Yo, what is going on, everyone? ItzSawk here, back for the PCL, the third season of it, PCL Season 3. And I have joined again for some shenanigans and fun. Third season, first one in Sword and Shield. We have started pretty early, so the meta's still developing, so it almost kind of serves as like a test league to see how what we've implemented, to see how it works with other leagues, and other leagues may take after us, so it could be cool. But first and foremost here, I do want to make sure that you guys do go check out all of the other 15 other coaches. They will all linked be down below. And also be sure to go check out my front office. My friends, they help me build, they help me draft, everything on here. So I want to give some special shout outs here. I want to give a shout out to Hobie, the Komala King, my boy. Really good draft player and really good friend of mine. Second person, I'm going to give a shout out to Mop of Justice Maj. You guys know him, you guys love him, he's one of my best friends, he's been forever with me. And dude creates fire. Snaps, fire set. Snaps, fire set. Snaps. That does a lot of work. That's an interesting set. I like it. But you get the idea there. So shout outs to Maj. Also, shout outs to my boy Dorian. Really fun draft league player. Hashtag round 2 Gligar. But that's out of the picture. Next shout I want to give out is to Nebris. You guys may know him from the Pixelmon server that I was in. If you guys remember the one episode I posted and then streamed twice on. I digress. If you guys do, be sure to check him out as well. His YouTube will be linked down below along with his Twitch. And last but certainly not least, I want to give a huge shout out to my boy Ollie. Ollie is really helping me build. He's come up with some really interesting ideas. He actually had a cool idea for this draft, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Now, of course, there's one more person on here, my boy Gearoid Max. Shout outs to Gearoid Max. He's the boy. He's really smart draft league player. He's a pretty good friend of mine as well. Long stories with him. Anyway, I digress. I wanted to make sure I got all those out there for you before I really got into it, because they helped me so much through this process. I would not have been able to draft this good of a team. I do think it is a good team. We're going to see how good it is, but we'll see, kind of. Either way. So, overall, first pick. Sword and Shield had a lot of interesting things. They're busted and really fun to use. And I had first overall pick. So that means I get to use whatever I want. Being that PCL is known for allowing certain things that probably should be banned, I had a list of things I could choose from. Whether I wanted Dragapult, Aegislash, Galarian Darmanitan, a bunch of things on here. However, they can't be Dynamaxed. Our Dynamax rule is tier 3 and below. So tier 3, 4, 5. Any Pokemon that is in that tier can be your Dynamax captain, and they have to Dynamax turn 1 like Megas, or they can regularly attack and forfeit their Dynamax completely. So if they do decide to forfeit their Dynamax, that's a giant threat out of the way. I know some people have looked at using that. So, first overall pick, it was pretty obvious what I wanted. My front office is like, you're an idiot if you don't get this. I'm like, I want to break things. And I drafted Galarian Darmanitan. My boy Gear is on the team. So, it's allowed. Why not pick it? 140 base attack with Gorilla Tactics makes it a free choice band. And I can slap another item on it too, so I can have double choice band. Also, 95 speed is not bad for it. It allows it to be at a really interesting tier, and if I get some interesting support with it, such as webs, it really could be really dangerous, especially because I don't have to worry about outspeeding things like Jirachi, because there's not a lot of base 100s in this meta here. So it's going to be really interesting, especially if I can grab webs later on. It's going to be really fun, and I am very much excited to use it. And it's going to break so many things. This thing should not have been allowed. It should not have been allowed, but it somehow was, and I have it, and I am beyond excited for it. But, yeah. It's Galarian Darmanitan. It's pick number 1. So, since PCL is a snake-style draft on here, it has to go from pick 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, down to 16. Then 16 picks again, and goes back to 15, 14, 13, 12, all the way back up. So it snaked from 1. I had first overall pick, which is awesome. I get Broken Mon, Galarian Darmanitan. Ha! Then it goes all the way down. I see a bunch of things go that I wanted. Then it comes all the way back up to me. And I get 2 picks in a row, so I get to form a little bit of a core. Now, remember how I said I wanted webs? I got Orbeetle. So, Orbeetle has a really couple interesting things here. I do blame Mop of Justice for this one, Maj, and my FO for this one here. It does get webs, sticky webs, Bug Psychic with sticky webs, and it gets screens. It has some interesting coverage too, and it has 110 base defense and 120 base special defense here. With Calm Mind, I can do a lot of damage here. However, being able to set up webs or be Calm Mind attacking, I have a lot of ways I can work with this. And so it's going to be really interesting to see kind of where I want to lean with this. Whether I want to be like a bulky web setter, I want to be a Calm Mind attacker, I want to be the greatest, the best. It's going to be really interesting to see how I kind of want to run this thing. Mostly because this could be a really fun Pokemon, or this could be the bust of my draft. And it's round 2. So it's going to be fun to see. Already weak to Edgequake. Already. Thank you, Shay. I already know. The next Pokemon I did grab here, kind of comboing with it here, is Ditto. Now, Ditto's a tier 1 in this league because of a couple things. This meta is so offensive that Ditto can just swap in on whatever is set up, and I can take you. I'm Scarfed. I'm now faster than you, and you are getting pushed to the side and dead, and I'm sweeping your entire team. So, it's really, really cool here because Dynamax Pokemon such as, say, let's throw a random tier 3 out there, Beware, because it's the best Pokemon ever. Beware gets 2 attack raises from Max Knuckle here. Cool, you are a +2 Beware. I come in with Ditto. Ditto now is a Choice Scarfed +2 Beware. So, what are you stopping me with? Being this meta is so stupidly offensive, it makes this Pokemon a lot more fun, a lot more viable too. Last gen really wasn't extremely Ditto heavy because there was a lot of bulk on that meta. This one, there's not a lot. So Ditto is really, really free to come on in here. Orbeetle will be named the UFB for the unidentified flying bug. And Ditto is going to be named Copy Pasta. And if you don't know, you don't know. But then after those 2 picks, goes back down the snake, comes back up to me, and 2 more picks. Now, I knew I couldn't go fully offensive with this entire draft here. Orbeetle has some bulk to it, but I want something with recovery. I want something that can sit there for 5 minutes and soak up hits while I go through these turns. They are 60-second turn timers and 20-minute total. However, I want a Pokemon that can sit for a second or 2 and kind of let me... I can kind of click buttons pretty nonchalant, brainlessly, while I'm like, okay, okay, click this button here. Okay, what am I going to do with the rest of my scout? You know, kind of thing. I decided to pick up a returning member. The only returning member from last season. I picked Squeezy the Gastrodon. He's back. I love Gastrodon so much. If you guys know, Gastrodon was one of my favorite Pokemon to use last season. It is back. I got Squeezy. This slug has my heart. It is so much fun to use. Gastrodon being a water and ground type, it is quad weak to grass. However, with the removal of hidden power, that is such a big help for Pokemon like Gastrodon. That special attackers like Orbeetle that would have been on another team, it can't click hidden power grass. There's no way for it too, because it's gone. And so Pokemon that lack grass coverage now are really going to be squandering for something to try to stop Gastrodon. With the ability to recover, Scald, Earth Power, Earthquake, a bunch of other things on there, I am very much excited to use this little slug. Squeezy, I can't wait. It's one of my favorite Pokemon, and it's made such an impression on me. I love it. It's not even just the meme anymore of Blue Gastrodon being better than Pink Gastrodon, which it already is, that we know. It's just fun to use, and it's really good. I love it. I love it so much. But yeah, that kind of does it for Squeezy. Coming on back, you guys know what it did last season, so you guys know why I wanted to pick it again. It did really well. And on the other hand here, Hitmonlee was terrible. It stayed in the video script. I grabbed Hitmonlee. So, it isn't the best fighting type, as we all know, because Beware's around. But it does get spin and some crazy coverage, which makes this Mon really, really interesting on here. Now, the reason for it, let me grab my little sheet here. Let me just go through these moves with you guys here. So, it gets moves such as Aura Sphere, gets moves such as Blaze Kick, Brick Break, Bulk Up, Bullet Punch, Close Combat, Earthquake, Fake Out, High Jump Kick, Poison Jab, Rock Slide, of course Rapid Spin, Superpower, Bounce, Fling, and like Thief and Throat Chop. So multiple priority moves with the wide move pool it has type wise means that this thing can actually be a really interesting Dynamax captain, which I did decide to go with. This is my Dynamax captain. This is Slinky the Hitmonlee. You will decide on how interesting this can be because it has a couple of interesting sets here. Because if I remember correctly, there was a set some of my front office members and I were discussing on here, and it was a really interesting set. Because remember, Hitmonlee still gets its abilities, being Limber, Reckless, and Unburden. So Hitmonlee can be a potent sweeper, even without Dynamax. I don't even have to Dynamax. I just click Bulk Up or Work Up or whatever I may want to, and I can just go ahead and start wrecking teams. So I cannot wait to use this thing. It's going to be really fun to use. Hits really, really, really hard at base 120 attack with 110 speed F, so it can take a couple special hits. 87 speed is not bad. Gives me spin and a bunch of opportunities for Dynamaxing shenanigans. So that's really the biggest reason why I picked it up, and it looks really fun to use on paper. And normally those mons tend to work really well for me because it allows for a lot of creativity. And so I'm very much intrigued in this, and I can't wait to use it. Next up here, snaked all the way back down, snaked all the way back up. It is time for our 6th team member. It's Azula, the Chandelure. Shout out if you get the reference on there. If you guys know this Pokemon hates me for a lot of reasons. It just decides to wipe the floor with me. 145 special attack is nothing to laugh at on here because it hits so hard. Things like heavy duty boots this gen make it so much better because it doesn't have to worry about toxic spikes. It doesn't have to worry about entry hazards at all, period. Whether it's webs, rocks, spikes, T-spikes, anything like that. Just gone to the wayside. I can come on in, I can Calm Mind up once. I am now a +1 special attack Chandelure that's sitting in front of your face, that's firing off a Fire Blast. Show me your switch, I want to see it. It is that scary of a Pokemon, and it also really helps me a lot with being more offensive with this team, like Orbeetle, Gastrodon, Ditto, Hitmonlee are all really good, like, kind of bulky offense. Chandelure gives me a lot of just straight offense, and it allows me to kind of run along more without having to rely on Galarian Darmanitan for just offense on here, so it gives me some other options. Plus, some Pokemon and some teams still just straight lose to Chandelure. Me from PCL Season 1, fuck you, JB. But that is all for Miss Azula here. May she forever get hits. But yeah, it is really interesting on here, and I can't wait to use it. Next on here, I wanted to grab an electric type here, something that was near base 100, if not at it, to get me some speed. And I really wanted like an electric type to get Volt Switch. I wanted some more Volt Turn so I could get the heavy hitters such as Chandelure, such as Galarian Darmanitan in to hit. And so I grabbed, sorry Shay, more Pico. And base 95 attack, 97 speed is about what I want. Being that it has the ability to go ahead and click Aura Wheel, which is 110 base power, 100 accurate move, is its signature move. If it's the base type, which you guys see on screen, it is electric type. If it's the hungry mode, it's dark type. And it switches between at the end of every turn. So I can go ahead, I can fire off a giant, hard-hitting electric type move. Then you switch into your ground type. Now it's a dark type move. And it's really interesting in that sense because it gives me the opportunity to do a lot more things with it. Such as hitting things with like Bullet Seed, which it has access to, Crunch, things like Fake Out, Fire Fang, Foul Play, and Ice Fang. It also gets a lot of other cool moves here. And even if I know there's a ground type they're going to switch in, I have Parting Shot. So this Pokemon's really cool. It gives me a lot of access to a lot of things. And this Pokemon is going to be fire. Like, I'm looking through its moveset right now. There are so many things that this Pokemon can do. If it got one move, the thing would be broken. But we'll table that. I'm very excited to use this mon. This mon screams useful. And Marnie Mouse is going to be on the table waiting for us to use. I'm very much excited about that. Next here, we do have another wheel too. I have 3 picks left, so I really need to get a couple of last good value mons. First one is hashtag sponsored, the Persian. I'm very much excited about using Persian. 115 base speed with a lot of interesting moves on there. Makes it so I can kind of use it as like a taunter, gives me foul play, play rough, a bunch of normal type. It is a normal type, so it always gets access to things like that. So it lets me have a little bit more freedom to run around and kind of do a little bit more funky stuff with Persian. Really lets me kind of settle in, but still be unpredictable at the same time with that. Meaning that it lets me go ahead and just be like, okay, what moves do you get? Oh, that's a cool move. We're slapping it on this week. Like, it allows me to be more creative, allows me to have more fun with this. Normal types are super fun with that and gives everyone the opportunity to do that. So, plus, I'm not going to turn down base 115 with Fake Out and Slash and all that fun stuff. Plus, Payday. Hashtag sponsored. Lol. But that is that's Persian on here, just being a really interesting Pokemon. Next thing on here is Abomasnow. Now, Abomasnow is really cool on here because it's a grounded grass type, meaning that things that Gastron really didn't want to take on, being those grass type moves, Abomasnow just switches in on and says, hello, where's your fire move now? It's really interesting in that sense. Plus, it never misses a blizzard, and it sets up hail. So if I want to run like Scarf Abomasnow for whatever reason in God's name that would be, I can have the ability to do that, and I can never miss blizzards. I'm already kind of fast, and it'll be really cool to see kind of where I can bring that. So yeah, that is Abomasnow. And last but not least here, our final pick, which was the final pick of the draft because everyone only gets 10 Pokemon, and it ended up snaking back up to me with it. So, Mr. Irrelevant, the Pokemon, is going to be McQueen. McQueen the Ninjask. A couple of things on here with Ninjask. Being a bug and flying type, it does not appreciate Stealth Rocks. However, we did cover that the heavy-duty boots are pretty cool. And so with heavy-duty boots on there, no Stealth Rock damage. I can switch in, full health. I can set up a Zoroark Dance. I'll be good on that end. I get speed boost, so I'll be +1 speed, +2 attack. And so it's going to be kind of cool in there because it allows me to go a couple moves. It does get a lot of interesting coverage as well, so I think this Pokemon could be really fun. And given the right terms, it could do a lot of work with some teams. I'm looking at some of the teams that are drafted on here. I can see myself bringing SD once or twice. However, Speed Pass is banned. The only type of passing is Dry Pass with no stats or Sub Pass with Substitute. Those are the only 2 types that are allowed in PCL. So if I want to run Substitute Passing on here, I cannot run Speed Boost, and they would know that immediately, and it can kind of sway the game. But we'll come to that bridge when we get to it, and we'll cross it when we get there. But yeah, that is Ninjask on here. That kind of does cover all of my team on here. Kind of went a little bit faster to the back end on here because those first 7-8 Pokemon here are really key players, and I think they're going to be really fun to use, and that makes up a lot of my team. But yeah, if you guys do have any nickname suggestions, be sure to leave them down in the comment section down below. If you guys did enjoy this, of course, be sure to let me know what you like, what you didn't like, what can I improve on. Be sure to give me all that feedback down below. Check out all the coaches. They will be linked down below as well. And check out my front office members. Love them all. With that, I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to get on out of here today, guys. And with that, I'm out. Peace out, scouts.